Hey y'all, my name is Mel, and this project is meaningful to me because it's a platform we created for women to freely express themselves and be the loud and proud, confident women that they're entitled to be.
Hey, I'm Vicky, and just like Mel, I've been in and witnessed too many situations where I felt prejudged and misunderstood, or even worse, was provoked and later on was labeled as crazy for loving myself enough to stand up for me.
Honestly, if I had $1 for each time I've been called crazy or too much, simply for standing up for myself or asking questions when things didn't add up, I'd be on an island I bought with that money right now. And I almost started to believe it, that it was me. But then I realized over time that my voice was my power. And through my story and through this podcast, I hope to inspire women from all walks of life to find their courage and speak up.
I'm beyond over being told to take it, and I wanted to be the voice for the ladies who aren't quite ready to roar just yet.
Women aren't to be placed in a box. We come from different backgrounds and have different journeys, and that's pretty much how we become ourselves and find our purpose. So a man has no place telling us how to be, neither does society. I really hope women listen to this podcast and feel heard and realize there's nothing wrong with a little crazy as long as it means you're freely expressing yourself.
This podcast will touch on all things woman. Let's get crazy.
Well, didn't think we were going to have to keep talking about this, but here we are with part two of our safety pussy segment. Um, if you guys were able to listen to the last episode, then you kind of have a feel of what it is. Just to touch base on it again for the new listeners and people who haven't gotten a chance to listen to the last episode, safety pussy is basically a situation where you are either being coerced into a sexual activity that you do not want to perform, that you made clear that you were not comfortable with, that you made clear that you didn't come here for that. And even if you did come for that, even if you took your clothes off, you're in bed at this point and you choose to change your mind and you choose to just not go through with it. But you're being kind of like, how can I say, forced into it. There you go. Forced into it, then that's what we call safety pussy, where you're like, I don't feel like being violently raped right now, so I'm just gonna act like I'm down with whatever's going on, but deep inside, I've already addressed my discomfort. I'm just going along with it because it seems like his ego is being hurt, or and in which case we all know when a man's ego is hurt, that's when they get aggressive, that's when they get violent, that's when you get violently raped or molested, whichever case may be. So we're back.
Yeah, and just to further touch base on what Mel just said, a lot of men get really upset when you express to them, like, for example, a lot of times in these situations, like, you'll distance yourself from that guy because at this point it's like, okay, you got something out of me that maybe I was wanted to give you, but maybe I didn't want to give it to you right now. You know what I mean? Maybe I still want
Mhm.
to fill you out. Maybe I was still on the fence. Somehow you have either coerced me into it, talked me into it, made me feel guilty for not wanting to sleep with you, or forced me in the sense to sleep with you. And I'm over you. Like, I'm over that. I'm over your energy. I don't want to see you ever again in life.
Mhm.
A lot of the times the guys will contact these girls, and if the girls are, brave enough to express to him, like, I don't feel comfortable with what happened, they get really upset. Like, they're like, so what, are you calling me a rapist? I mean, sir, I said no, I wasn't ready. I said I want to take things slow. I said I, just came here for the nightcap that you offered me. And one thing, the main thing that needs to be understood about a safety pussy situation is that people like to act as though it is not a fact that there is a slight fear that comes with saying no to a man, whether you say it confidently, loudly, or shyly. There's a slight fear because there's a 50-50 reaction. We've touched base on this before, that they're either going to
Mhm.
be cool with it or not cool with it. Just because you're not holding me down and raping me per se doesn't mean that you're not forcing me into the act. I don't
Yep.
understand where the confusion lies. If the person
Right.
said no even once, even if the person said no, shaking their head yes, you have to accept the no. You have to accept the no based on what consent really is. You cannot coerce a person, and then when they tell you, hey, I feel like things were rushed, you're upset at them for how they feel. That's how they feel. Congratulations.
Amen to that.
I hope the first time and the last time was worth it, because you robbed this person of the experience of being able to share with you something. You took it from them. And now you're upset at them that they feel that way. If you've ever been in a safety pussy situation, you are way more than allowed to feel like something was taken from you. I'm not necessarily saying go and cry rape. What I'm saying is you are allowed to feel like, damn, I kind of was rushed. I was kind of forced into that situation because he was getting a little tight. He was getting a little upset.
It was beyond my
I
comfort.
would like this guy. I would like for him to call me again. Maybe that's a lot of girls do it for different reasons. Whatever it is that you feel like you have to lose, whether it's safety, whether it's the relationship, the friendship, whatever. A lot of women do it for whatever reason, whatever it is that they're trying to salvage in that moment. Sometimes it's not even about their safety. Sometimes it's a friendship. Sometimes it's a long term.
Yep.
Sometimes it's someone that you're dating, but you're not necessarily ready to sleep with them. But you know that if you don't, they might call you again. There's a lot of reasons why
Yep.
women on a daily basis are performing sex acts. It doesn't even have to be full sex. It could be sex acts
Mm-hmm.
to and for men that they're not ready to do it for. And then it's like you're not even allowed to feel violated afterwards. It's like, nigga, you violated me, sir. You
Yeah,
violated.
exactly. You
Like,
did.
no, and you convinced me to do it. That is a form of sexual harassment.
It is.
I'm right to feel some kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. My thing also is that I find that men use, from my personal experience,
Mm.
men use the excuse of, well, we're both here. You consented to us both being in this room. So it must mean no. It doesn't mean anything until I say what it means. Oh,
Right.
you consented to me being here. Oh, oh, well, how you're dressed. Obviously, you wanted something to happen. I can be 110% comfortable with my sexuality, comfortable, having sex and just loving sex for what it is and enjoying it, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be taken away from me. I don't understand why that's not clear, as you say,
Mm.
when a man tries to come on to you and you're like, get off of me. Like, we're not, sometimes we want to be romanticized, we want to be
Yeah, like
appreciated. Exactly. You want to be desired. You want to be wined and dined. You want to feel appreciated. You want to feel special before the act even comes along. Even if I'm here and I'm, in a lingerie set with a whip in my hand, you have to get me there. You know what I mean? You have to get me there. And I feel like a lot of men feel the entitlement just based on, well, you consented to us both being here, so it must mean that you like me and you want me in your drawers.
yeah.
Don't know, don't know why, but let me, fellas, if you're listening, let me tell you right now, no. And it doesn't mean that the girl does not like you just because she's not trying to sleep with you. Just because she's not trying to sleep with you does not mean that, oh, okay, well, you're wasting my time. It's not, you know what I mean? That's not what it means. It means that you're just not rubbing her the right way. That's all it is. You know what I mean? It means you're not putting in enough work. You're not saying the right things. Either you're rushing it, you're not going with the flow. You're kind of just going with how your body is feeling at the moment with absolutely no regards as to how she feels in the moment. Is she even aroused in the moment? You guys just feel like, oh, I'm aroused, so let me take your body. No, you got to rub it up a little bit. You got to rub my thigh. You got to tell me I'm cute, something, you know. Anyway.
Not only that, the thing about that same thing too for me is that it's like I don't understand where the correlation is between a girl who likes to have fun and a girl who wants to see your penis. I don't
Yeah, what
understand.
is
Like,
that?
never in life I'm 28 years old. I've been on the planet from what my birth certificate says for 28 whole years.
I'm done.
And never once in my life, ever, I've had to write several essays throughout my lifetime in English and in Francais about what my hobbies are. And never once in life did I say, I like to have fun. I like to party, dance, see dicks. I've never added, I like to see penises in that list of hobbies that I like to have fun, tons of fun. But for some reason, penis and fun has
Yeah.
never been. So for me, it's like when you're the fun girl, like Summer Walker has a song about
Ooh, amen.
love.
Amen.
It's like when you're the what people quote unquote, Lord Jesus, help me speak tonight. What when you are what people consider to be quote unquote the fun girl, you it's like you have no rights or respect.
Nope.
So
And you
like
feel violated half of the time.
if it's not like somebody who's trying to make you like just a trophy, it's somebody who's so appalled that like you might be what people consider to be attractive and also have a brain. Like so many men that have like somehow gotten to talk to me for whatever reason. Once we start talking, they're like, oh, like they won't say it in so many words, but they're kind of like, oh, you have a brain. You're not a dumbass bitch that I can play with. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. You know, and I appreciate those men for recognizing that because I really don't have time for the nonsense. But there are some men who don't recognize that. And then I have to let them know that I don't have time for the nonsense. And then they're upset because I am not the idea of myself that they created in their head before they came and actually got to know me. They're upset because I have a completely different personality than the one that they pre-programmed in my body when they saw me with their eyeballs. Like they're so mad at me that I'm not who they
Oh
wanted me to be
my
so bad
God.
when they approached me. And it's like, sir, do you realize
Facts.
that if I don't want you, even if I do want you, but I don't want you tonight, like I understand that certain people are for certain people. Some girls want you to jump through 12 flaming hoops. Some girls will only offer you one flaming hoop. Some girls don't got no hoops for you to jump through. So if you with a girl who asking you to do 15 backflips and you know you only got about 3 backflips in your back pocket, find you a 3 backflip type of girl.
There
Why
you
are you
go.
gonna be over here with your that does that make sense? Can you go to the dollar store and pick up something for 250 and take it to the cash and be like, hey yo, what happened to the 115 prices that used to be back up in here in the 90s? Can you do that? Can you be
No.
like, oh, can you go down to IGA or wherever the fuck you shop at and be like, hey, I know this milk is $3.50, but I only got about 75 cents. So you're gonna have to take that. You cannot. You
Yep.
cannot. You
That's
cannot.
true.
So the same way that you can't, you have to respect if how groceries got more
Respect
respect
people's
than
worth.
groceries got more respect than human beings. We're human beings. If I tell you no, and no means no. Just because I say no, pick yourself up and dust yourself off. Try and try again. There are several women who will tell you yes. It doesn't have to be me. You don't have to rob me of what I think is precious and what I think.
Yep.
And it's not just the physical. It's the mental. It's the emotional. You
Yeah.
take the person's
Yes.
peace of mind. It
Yeah.
takes so long to be able to move like a normal person again after you are violated in any way, especially sexually.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's people that we trust around me. And it's so disgusting to me that your
Yeah.
excuse would be, oh, well, you trusted me to be in this room with you. Yeah, exactly. I gave you this is a major level of trust. And I said this in the last show that a woman is handing you when she sits in a room by herself with a man, because we know that realistically, if you wanted to take anything from us, you could. You can. Physically, you can overpower me and take from me what you will. So when I sit here in this room with you, that's already a certain level of trust that if you break that, that's a violation. So I'm super confused as where last year or 2 years ago or however long it was when it was definitely not last year, it was a couple years ago when the Me Too and the Time's Up movement started like really coming up and men started to show like real concern about their sexual behavior. It started to scare me because I was like, so wait a minute, y'all just out here raping on a daily basis and you don't even know?
Because because they think what from my understanding, from my personal experience, is that men, it's like something happens when they're aroused where they feel like you aroused me, whether you did it intentionally or not. Sometimes I'm literally just staring at the wall, like holding a fart, and the man is aroused. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, from what? You know, it's like the energy you exude. It's just, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And it's like, no, I am very happy, you know what I mean, in my pants every so often. And I don't have a problem expressing my sexuality. But please, let me get to it. That's the thing I don't understand. Sir, some of y'all walking through the door with a boner. Let me get to it.
I swear.
And then it's like they get up, like you say, whenever you're like, I'm not up for it, I'm not really into it, then they're upset. So it's like, so nothing else matters about me, so we're not friends, so our friendship doesn't matter. You know what I mean, my conversation, my childhood, my life, what I like, what I dislike, my favorite color, my favorite meal, going to a movie, doing something together, none of that matters to you because you're willing to throw it all away for this one particular thing between my legs. And if I don't give it to you, then I lose the friendship, then I lose the trust, then I lose it all. And then I have to walk around kind of feeling like, you have this weird feeling of like, damn, I guess I really never really fucking meant shit. You know what I mean? And that's, I don't know. It's just like that's part of the reason why a lot of women just say, "Oh, okay, it seems like if I don't do it, then I might not hear from him again," or like, "Damn, we do have. Oh, okay, I feel like I'm hurting his ego. I don't want him to think I don't like him. It's not that I don't like him. I just feel like he was kind of corny, so I'm not horny right now." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like sometimes y'all are corny. Sometimes you're just trying too hard. Sometimes you're just pushing yourself onto us too much. Let
You
us
don't
get
even
to it.
the person we met 2 weeks ago when we met you. We like we meet you, see you again, and we're like, oh, that's not what I remember meeting 2 weeks ago after the club. So yeah, when I
Yeah.
see you again, I might not be ready right now. You a whole different person than the person I thought I was coming to meet. So now I'm just
Hmm.
like, oh, okay, well,
Exactly.
he's not, you know, exactly what I remember, but I'm gonna warm up to it. Y'all don't even let that happen. It's just like, what? And again, like if you feel like you're in a situation where you've done your all, you're courting properly, you're doing everything you need to do, you put in whatever time limit you have set for yourself to get the cheeks, and you haven't gotten the cheeks, how hard is it for you to be like, man, this girl's playing games and move on to something else?
Yeah.
If you
Why do you
feel
have
like
to take?
if that is your interpretation of what she's doing, because like I said, every woman has her own set of standards. So what you would consider to be playing games may just be her living out her standards. So if you get to the 2 week mark, the month mark, the two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 month, whatever mark, and you still have not got the cheeks, why can't you just call it a loss and move on to something else?
Especially if that's what you're here for. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
it's like if you're
only
getting
what
to know.
you're here for. Like seriously, move on to something else.
Exactly. If that's what you're here for, if you're just here because you just want to have a good time with this woman, and you didn't spend all your savings at this point and still haven't gotten anything out of her, and that's what you wanted out of, because realistically speaking, if a man wants you for you, he wants you for all the parts. So it's like, okay, I may not be able to get this part right now, but at least I get to spend time with her. I get to, I get a chance to get to know her. I get a chance to be close to her. Whereas, the anger, what I understand now as a 31-year-old woman, and I
Mm.
don't accept it anymore. What I understand now, when a man gets upset when I'm not willing to have sex with him, is that that's all he ever wanted from me. Because I never said leave. I never said, hey, let's watch. I never said we can't sit here and watch a movie and have a good conversation. I never said that. I just said I don't feel comfortable having sex with you right now. And that always 9 times out of 10 creates some type of anger and kind of just flushes out the night down, drains out the night down the toilet with the rest of the shit that you got in there. It's just like it I need women to understand it's perfectly okay for you to be a sexual being, to dress like a what they call like a slut, and go out with your friends and drink Hennessy and be ratchet and twerk to Megan Thee Stallion. That's perfectly fine. It doesn't take away from your value as a woman. It doesn't take away from your intelligence and your integrity and your modesty and any of other qualities that you have as a human being. It doesn't make you any less intelligent. That man is simply there because he doesn't care about any of those other qualities. He simply wants what you have between your legs because you're the fun girl, you're the party girl, you were shaking your booty, and they just want to use your body to masturbate. They want to make their fantasy and their whatever sexual fantasy they have of you, the ideal they have of you, come true. Whatever comes out of your mouth is irrelevant. They don't care. They just want you for your body because any man who really cares about you and respects you, the second you say, I like you and all, Bob, but tonight is not the night. Like let's just see where this goes a couple more times. I have had men who I could go as far as telling them, like, you can't be too aggressive with me because I have a history of sexual assault, and it means absolutely, goes into one ear, comes out the other. It means absolutely nothing. They try to pretend like they care at first, and once they see that you're getting a little comfortable, then they just try to jump on you, and then when you're like, whoa,
Can
you know what
we
I'm
just
saying?
use
Mm.
what you just said to segue into something real quick?
Yes,
You just
ma'am.
said they pretend to care so that you can let your guard down, and when they let your guard down, then we're back on the prowl. Let me tell you something. I want to use that point to segue into a certain group of men. A certain group of men that I don't really know what to call y'all. Certain group of men. And again, if you're a man and you're listening, or if you identify as being a man and you're listening and you know that this is not you, don't feel butt hurt. If you feel butt hurt, it's probably about you. So
Fix your life.
these good guy like these fuckboys who have managed to metamorphose themselves into good guys. The good guys, we were watching it on Insecure with Florence when that girl that
Hmm.
he was dating from the bank told him that he a fuck boy who don't even know he's a fuck boy. Oh my god, I'm gonna need all of y'all pretend good guys to get yourselves together because you're not a good guy.
You're not.
The same fuck boy that you talking shit about with the girl that you seeing, you exactly like that man. You exactly like that man. Exactly like it. Let me explain to you what a fuck boy who don't know that he a fuck boy is exactly. If you've never watched Insecure, please go ahead and watch it. It's exactly Lawrence. It's the guy that's going to be sweet and call you every day and text you every day and act like he is
For
here for
nothing.
whatever reason. It doesn't have to be a relationship. They can offer you friendship. They can offer you whatever the fuck, a study buddy, someone to drive you to work. Oh, let's just drive. Let's be carpool friends. And that in the end, it's literally just because they want your cheeks. That's not a good guy. You know why that's not a good guy? Because that's manipulation. It's manipulation
Hmm.
because you're setting yourself up to squeeze your way into my life for a reason that is not valid, simply to sleep with me. If it was for a purpose of, oh, I like this girl, I want to get to know her, let me offer her a carpool, let me offer her friendship, let me offer her a text buddy, let me offer her a gym partner so I can get close to her and get to know her as a person. That's cute. But y'all are not doing it for those reasons. Y'all are doing it because you too want the cheeks. And that to me is worse than a person who's going to be flat out and be like, hey, I want the cheeks. No matter what you say, I want the cheeks. It's still rapey either way you go. One is straightforward rapey and the other one is manipulation rape, is undercover rapey. Either way, it's rapey. But I would prefer someone who I can see, oh, okay, I see where you're going with this. You rapey. Than to be involved with a person who is literally a wolf in sheep clothing. Please analyze yourself. If you are talking to a female currently or a couple females currently, and you have hit them with any of the boyfriend lines, you have offered them any of the boyfriend activities, and you know for a fact it's just for pussy, you are an
Hmm.
undercover fuck boy and you may not.
Exactly. It's just that you're just not, you don't have the balls to be all the way a
Have the
fuck boy.
balls to be mean about it.
Yeah.
But then when the girl peeps your game and she pops the fuck off on y'all, the same person who didn't have the balls to be mean about it, y'all were mean as fuck. Which again lets me know you a fuck boy just like anybody else. You just was nice about it. And to me, it's like, again, that's another form of sexual assault because
Yeah.
you in my life under false pretenses, under the sole purpose of getting my body, when realistically, if you weren't pushing yourself up on me, I wouldn't have noticed you. I wouldn't have seen you in the room. I wouldn't have sent for you. I wouldn't have wanted any of that. And I probably still don't. But you're here constantly, every day in my face, talking to me, trying to be my
What
friend.
you doing? Where
For
you
no
at? Good
reason.
morning, beautiful.
Just for no fix your life. I don't understand why a pussy is so like you guys like why is you, the thirst is so real to where you're willing to take it from a person or bamboozle a person,
Like,
and it's like, oh
mhm,
yeah, high five, I played this bitch out, it like you're proud of that. That's like,
yeah,
still, I mean, we still doing that. It's just,
that's high school.
it's so childish to me, and it's the fact that like you have to know that it's wrong. If you don't know that that behavior is wrong, you're a sociopath, because to have that kind of behavior, you have to be sneaky, you have to lie, you have to remember your lies, you have to keep everything that you're lying about in order so you know the shit is wrong.
And the crazy thing is, like, 9 times, like, most grown women, and I speak for myself, I'm sure Vicky can agree, who are comfortable with their sexuality. Some of us, there's plenty of women who are perfectly fine with just a, either a one night stand. There's women who are perfectly fine with, just hit me up whenever you want to fuck. Like, it doesn't have the part where y'all fuck up is where you think that you have to manipulate a woman into sex because you're too afraid to just say, oh, I don't want anything serious. At most, I would like to tap that a few times, because you don't want to be rejected. You don't want her to say no. You don't want her to not be cool with the idea, but you want what you want, and you want to take it. And because you don't want to feel like a rapist, you're manipulating. It doesn't, there's no such thing as a nice guy if what you're doing is coercing a woman or manipulating a woman into sleeping with you, or trusting you, or creating a bond with her just so you can get in her pants. And then when the bond is there and she feels like the bond is real, you are breaking it in every which way, shape, or form. It's just and on top of that, I just want to touch base on something. um, for the men who sleep with women for clout, for the men who think it's cute or it's cool to record women without their consent, so that your friends can be like, oh yeah, wow, okay, cool, wow, ooh, you're uh,
For
get a
you,
life.
like,
Get a life. That's absolutely fucking uh it's pathetic. First of all, above all, it makes you, for me, I wouldn't see that and think like, oh wow, that's cool. So whoever encourages this type of behavior, you are an accomplice. It's super inappropriate. uh to record. We're human beings, we're people. Just like you wouldn't want to be recorded when you're crying on the floor for because your ex-girlfriend won't take you back.
hmm,
You shouldn't record anyone at their most vulnerable, at their most, you know what I mean, at their most intimate moments, where they're, you know what I mean, like things like that is also a violation. I think a lot of times men just use this for their own gain. Like 9 times out of 10, I have to say, like 99.9999999, just like that Maury fucking uh paternity test, 99999, 100% of the 99.999% of the time, these men are just using you. It's just, you know what I mean, and it's just, that's why now I don't even entertain it.
and the thing is like, I guess for me, I'm speaking of out of pure personal experience at this point in my life. When it's real, you will know. And as corny as that sounds, I used to always, I have
Mhm.
heard that saying forever, like my whole life growing up. And I never fully understood it until I started to meet people in my life. And it's not just about relationships, it's about people in general. When it's real, you can feel that energy, you can feel that light,
Mhm.
you can feel like, okay, there's something here where we're on the same page. We both get it. We both understand where this is going. And that's with relationships in general, whether it's friendships, family, romance. When it's real, you will know. So if you're talking to a dude or a person is pushing up on you and you feel like there's red flags, I don't know if this, the second you have to be like, I don't know if this seems kind of, yeah, it is, and get the fuck out. Trust your fucking intuition. Men have built this stigma against women that we're crazy and we're suspicious and we're in our heads, and maybe we are, but we also have this thing called intuition that we need to start trusting. Why do you think women go through men's phones? Why do you think women go through extensive FBI lengths to find answers? Because we know what we know. We just for some reason want to hurt our own feelings by seeing the shit with our own eyeballs. When
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it goes the same with people who are like predators or people who are um, sexually like assaulting people and not knowing. There's always a vibe that you can sense. And anytime I've been in a situation like that, I always kick myself in a sense later. Not to say I blame myself, but I kick myself because I'm like, damn, I had a feeling that, you know what I mean? I had a
Yep.
feeling about shit, and I still gave him a chance. So you know what I'm saying? That like all in all, when it comes to safety pussy, I feel like the main thing to take away from this is that you are allowed to feel like you were violated if you're in a situation where you gave a part of your body, whether it was full sex, half sex, quarter piece of sex, whether it was you flashed somebody your titties when you weren't ready, whatever, in any way that you were violated, you are allowed to feel like you were violated, and no one is allowed to tell you that you were not, no matter how grave or small the situation may be to other people. If you yourself feel like somebody violated you, you are allowed to feel that way, period.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just to add on to what Vicky's saying, for me also, it's like don't let them getting upset with you. Or how can I say? Because I've been in that situation where I refused, and then at some point I just refused completely. Like, just, I started to get aggressive myself, like, get away from
Mhm.
me. And then it's like, oh, you know what? Fuck you, bitch. Why did you even tell me to come here? Why did you? It doesn't, you know what I mean? Even if they go as far as doing
And
all of
harm
that,
on yourself.
don't feel guilty, don't feel any kind of way. You did the right thing, period. Because a man who respects you, you will never have to go to that extent just to say no. Never. You will never have to fight. You will never have to fight the person off. You will never have to raise your voice. You will never have to push them off. They'll never be forcing themselves onto you. It'll be a simple, I don't want to, and they will respect that. Either will stay and just give you great conversation and leave, or leave immediately if that's what they came for. But uh, like Vicky said, if you feel like you were violated, most likely you were. It doesn't matter if you're like, oh well, I did wear the sexy outfit because I was trying to seduce him, but you were not trying to have him jump your bones as soon as he walked through the door. You were trying to be romanticized, realistically speaking. And for the men who call us crazy, because we love and respect ourselves enough, not like, what's so wrong about a woman not wanting to be played? Like, why are you mad? Because I don't want to be played, or because I don't want to be disrespected, or because I know my worth and I don't feel like this situation is what I want for myself, and you were dishonest, and now I'm upset. Now I'm crazy because I'm upset because you lied to me to get what you wanted out of me, and you violated me and my privacy and my sexuality, and you
Yeah, because I'm
violated
just
me
like,
as a
what's
woman.
the big deal? You enjoyed it, and it's like, how do you know that? How do you know for a fact that I enjoyed it? And even if I did, I wasn't ready to enjoy you just then. So now that I realized that I did this thing that I didn't necessarily have to do for a person who by next week we no longer speak, it's like, yeah, it's a piss off because you violated me, dude. I don't understand where the confusion lies. I'm confused about where the confusion is.
Yeah, if you were in
I'm
a jail cell and your cellmate decided to stick his dick in your ass, would you like it? Would you be okay with that? Would you like it in the
right,
morning if he
and
made you
it's
breakfast?
you know for me part.
Yeah, would you like it if he made you breakfast in the morning and told you like, "Hey, what's up? We had a great time last night." You know what I mean? It's sorry to be this graphic, but like that's what it feels like.
Feels like,
That's
yeah.
what it feels like. Come on now.
But yeah, with that graphic image in your heads, I hope that y'all remember that the next time that you push upon a woman who has said no. Once she says no, unfortunately, even if she says yes and y'all start having sex and she then says no, you have to respect that. It sucks. I know we have rights, but you have to respect them.
Right?
You have to
Sorry.
respect the rights them. You can't just violate us and then be
Sorry
mad
that I'm a human.
that you violated us. So with that being said, we're gonna get the hell out of here because at this point we've spoken twice on this topic. You will hear the safety pussy stamp come back. We will talk about it because it's something that is just never gonna not be relevant. But I think that's it for this episode. We are now on 10 different platforms. I cannot
different platforms.
I can't name them all right now. I'm not gonna try. I will give you Spotify, podcast through Apple and SoundCloud that I can remember off the top of my head. But all information will be on our Instagram page. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter under Crazy Bitch Factory Inc. I believe we're also on YouTube.
And we will be. And yes, just to add on to what Vicky said, we will be touching, and also please don't be afraid to reach out to us through DM on any of those platforms to give us feedback. If you have your own stories that you want to share, if you have anything that you want us to touch base on, we will be the voice for you. We will be the voice for the women out there who are too afraid to speak up, who are too uncomfortable to speak up, who, will uplift and empower you through our voices. So please send us your feedback. Please let us know if there's anything you want us to touch base on. Like Vicky mentioned. Vicky mentioned the different platforms that we can be reached at. Don't be afraid to reach out to us.
Also, if it's not the next episode, it might be the one after, but it's probably going to be the next episode, right? It's going to be like a live episode.
Yeah, because
okay,
Vicky's coming to DC.
Yes, so I will be making my way over to wherever Melissa's at. And
in the DMV,
a live episode. So that's going to be our 5th episode, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, for the 5th episode, we'll be reuniting in person and doing a live episode, which I'm assuming we're going to stream on Instagram. So more details will be to come. You have to follow our social media pages: Crazy Bitch Factory Inc., Crazy Bitch Factory Inc., Crazy Bitch Factory Inc. Now you'll remember.
and I think that maybe we should do something where we have get yourself a bottle, get your glasses of wine.
I want to see all of your comments. I want to see your emojis. I want to see your feedback, good, bad. I like to laugh at bad comments. That shit is hilarious. So I want to hear all of your feedback. If you insult us, you may get insulted back. I'm just saying, we not the ones.
And then blocked.
Yeah, so that's pretty much that. But we want to interact with you guys. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear what you think we should speak on. We want to hear if you have opinions that differ from ours or experiences that differ from ours. Please let me know if we're wrong about anything, or if we're right about anything. We just want to hear what you think, and we want to interact with y'all and get your stories and opinions and questions and whatever else. So, yeah.
That's it. Until next time, crazy bitches.
See you and come back to the Crazy Bitch Factory soon. Bye.
Bye.